The Gilded Age!
Today on Brazil Nut Tribe, Documentary Edition, we will be discussing the Gilded Age.
The Gilded Age was from 1877 to 1900. In the first section of this film, we'll be talking to experts about the issues of segregation and social tension.
In the second section, we will be viewing a popular newscast of the Gilded Age about the political and economic challenges of that time.
In the third section, we will be closing with a few songs that illustrate issues such as farmers and populism. Now sit back,
Relax.
And enjoy our short documentary.
Brazil Nut Tribe! Brazil Nut Tribe! Brazil Nut Tribe!
With Yasmin, speaking of a discussion about the Jim Crow laws. Hi, today I'm meeting with Yasmin, a historian who knows a lot about the African American culture. So Yasmin, what do you think about the Jim Crow laws?
I've never really liked those laws. They completely eliminate the freedom that all black people deserve.
I agree. They're like hitting the undo button on Reconstruction and the Civil War. They completely reduce any chance for equality by a long shot.
Exactly. The doctrine of separate but equal was established in 1896 by the Supreme Court in Plessy versus Ferguson, after a black man in New Orleans attempted to sit in a white-only car.
The idea of separate but equal makes me so mad. Segregation is not equality, especially when the segregation extends from everything, from bus seats to Bibles. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I completely agree. The Jim Crow laws limit freedom and go against the principles that this country was built upon. Good thing there were many activists that worked against these laws.
We'll tell you about some of those activists in a minute.
Hello all, I'm Booker T. Washington. Booker, everyone knows who you are. You're one of the most renowned African Americans in the Gilded Age. Don't assume that people know who I am. Not everyone has access to great education. I myself was born a slave. Please check your privilege.
Today, we will be interviewing some experts on the African American civil rights movement in the Gilded Age. These two gentlemen know quite a bit about this movement, seeing as if they were each leaders of it during their time.
Hi everyone, I'm W.E.B. Du Bois. You may know me for how much I argued with the philosophies of that one.
So, speaking of philosophies, Mr. Washington, what was your philosophy on African Americans gaining their rights?
If we ever want to have full economic rights, we must make some concessions. I believe that giving up political and social rights is a fair price to pay for economic equality. We shouldn't try to change Jim Crow laws, but rather work hard to establish our worth in society. We must pull ourselves by our own bootstraps.
Yes, Mr. Du Bois, what do you have to add to that?
Oh, why should we make any concessions at all? That's exactly what the white people want. The only way to ensure our true equality is to fight for equality in every single aspect, whether that be social, political, or economic. We are not second-class citizens, and we won't settle for second-class citizen rights. We're true and full Americans, so we should be given every right that African Americans deserve.
Wrong, but you know.
Thank you, gentlemen. On to the next topic. What are your views on education for African Americans?
Vocational education is definitely the way to go. By becoming economically valuable, we become socially valuable. We must work hard and establish reputations as hardworking and honest citizens. No race can prosper until it learns that there's as much dignity in tilling a field as in writing a poem.
The slaves were economically valued but not valued socially. The only way to establish and defend our humanity is through total, complete, and unabridged rights. By pursuing vocational education, we are limiting ourselves as both individuals and as a community. We don't need to pursue vocational education in order to prove our worth. Voting as well as other political rights don't need to be earned, they're inherent.
Well, thank you both very much. I learned a lot, and that's all the time we have today, though. So, thank you. Bye.
Hey Chen, it's so nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm glad to have the chance to meet you guys.
So, could you tell us a little bit about what your grandfather's life was like in America?
Of course, when he and his parents arrived to America from China, They thought they would be mostly free. In fact, they were discriminated against, and at one point they weren't allowed to get jobs. There was also a lot of segregation against Chinese in San Francisco.
Wow, I can't imagine America like that.
Yes, it was very different. Eventually, Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act, which prevented Chinese laborers from entering the country. Many even questioned the Statue of Liberty because not everyone in America was free.
What was the name of the court case dealing with Chinese not being able to operate a laundry?
Oh, the Yik Wo vs. Hopkins case. Surprisingly, the Chinese immigrant won. He was against a California law banning Chinese from operating a laundry. Although the Chinese Exclusion Act prevailed for a while after, it was eventually decided that they couldn't have their rights and citizenship taken away.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. We'll see you soon.
Thank you,
Hola, buenos días. Me llamo Carlito. Hoy voy a hablar de cómo mi pueblo perdió mucho de nuestra tierra después de la Guerra Mexicano-Americana. El Tratado de Guadalupe Hidalgo fue firmado al final de la Guerra Mexicano-Americana, que garantiza nuestros derechos a la propiedad en el suroeste. Perdimos la mayor parte de nuestra tierra porque los angloamericanos quisieron que nosotros demostráramos que la poseímos, pero no podríamos. Un grupo de blancos poderosos llamado el Anillo de Santa Fe persuadió al gobierno federal a dar millones de acres de la tierra a ellos. Los americanos mexicanos no tienen representantes en DC, por tanto no podíamos desafiar este pedido. Los guardias blancos protestó por la pérdida de su tierra, apuntaron a dueños del rancho grandes. Nuestro objeto es proteger los derechos e intereses de las personas en general, sobre todo aquellos de la clase indefensa. Adiós!
Hi, welcome back to BrazilNet Tribe Documentary. Today we will be showing a newscast of what the spoil system may have looked like during that time period. I will be your host. Our first segment is about the Gilded Age. Caroline will be taking us to the streets where she'll be asking people about what they already know about the presidents of that time. Good morning, everyone. Today on Water's World, we'll be investigating the political corruption of the Gilded Age. I'm going to the streets of Montgomery to check things out. Looks like there's a person right up here. Let's go check it out. Excuse me, ma'am. I have a question for you.
Sure, what is it?
Who was the better president, Abraham Lincoln or Rutherford B. Hayes?
I'm gonna have to go with Rutherford B. Hayes. I mean, that name does sound more proper than Abraham Lincoln.
You're very stupid. Rutherford B. Hayes won his election in 1876 to a secret deal. Excuse me, ma'am, I have a question for you.
What kind of question?
Who was the second president in history to lose the popular vote but win the Electoral College vote? Benjamin Harrison or Gandhi?
I'm gonna have to go with Gandhi.
That's scary you think that. No, the answer is Benjamin Harrison. In an era known for extremely corrupt and weak presidents, Grover Cleveland was the most noteworthy, known for his integrity in the election of 1892. Excuse me, ma'am! Ma'am, hold on. Yes! So, who was the first Democratic president to win the election in over 24 years? Grover Cleveland or Tina Fey?
Grover Cleveland.
Correct! Good job! Thomas Nast was born on September 27, 1840 in Landau, Germany, and immigrated with his mother and sister to New York in 1846. His drawings depicting the flaws in post-Civil War retweed ring, which was the ring of embezzlement, robbery, and kickbacks, used to siphon massive chunks of New York's budget into the pockets of William Marcy Nast and his cronies. Thomas Nast made lasting contributions to the American political and cultural scene, including the elephant as the symbol for the Republican Party and the donkey for the Democrats, which are still used today. Caroline will be taking us to the streets where we see someone protest.
No to the spoil system! Next to me, we have Emma Jonas protesting the spoil system. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, the spoil system is an extremely corrupt system of government of hiring loyal party workers to government positions. That's just not the way our government works. Giving government jobs is not based on favoritism. It's based on who will do the job best for the good of the majority of the American citizens. That was good.
That's a great point. Thanks, Emma. Can you tell me about your stance on the assassination of President Garfield and the new president?
Yeah, so although I don't agree with Arthur defending the spoils system, I can't wait for him to sign the Pendleton Civil Service Act today.
Can you elaborate?
Sure, the Pendleton Civil Service Act creates a Civil Service Commission, which is supposed to create a civil service exam.
So getting a government job is based on how you do on this civil service exam?
Yep, hopefully being educated and loyal rather than just loyal helps decreases the power of the spoils system.
All right, thanks, Emma.
During the Gilded Age, farmers suffered many economic struggles. They paid high prices for transportation while only receiving small payment for their crops and hard work. Many farmers went into debt because the cost of doing business rose, and farmers now had to pay for all their materials at a higher price. Many ended up becoming tenant farmers, which meant they no longer owned their own land. The farmers blamed big businesses and banks for the crisis, claiming they charged too high for their services. The government was prompted by the Granger movement to establish the Interstate Commerce Commission, ICC, to oversee interstate transportation. Imagine there's no corruption, good money supply, government ownership of railroads to combat high prices. Imagine populist party living still today. Imagine James B. Weaver overcoming regional divisions, uniting all the farmers and the urban workers. Imagine no more racial prejudice, living right in peace. You may say this will lead to Negro supremacy, but that is just those Democrats. I hope someday you'll join us, and the country will be as one. Imagine no segregation. I wonder if you can nominate William Jennings Bryan, a brotherhood of farmers. Imagine all the people uniting for the cause. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the farmers will be as one.